you stand for.
Oh, man.
I will break your goddamn ass. You ain't nothing but a punk bitch. Fuck you and every goddamn thing you stand for.
Bro, who invited this dude, bro? What the fuck?
So, bye.
I'd rather watch softcore porn than have to watch all of that.
Dude, whatever you're smoking, buy a ton of it.
I'm the great smack talking on the fucking face of the earth right now.
Then it makes me look like I got owned.
It's not clever. It's not interesting. It's not even funny.
Gus can't code, to be honest with you. It's the high school code.
Yeah, go ahead, Unabomber. What the fuck are you saying about the SEC, bro?
Well, this is smacking off. If you don't like it, change your diaper and leave.
You should be thanking me that I'm talking about Tennessee.
Boomer motherfucking Sooner.
U.S. is far better than Oklahoma historically.
Your meatloaf is moist as my pussy gets. I promise you that one.
Don't be ridiculous right now, okay?
Fuck you, Freeze.
Please welcome our guest referee, Landon Beeman.
Bro, who invited this dude, bro?
You know what, motherfucker?
Just like Fulton, man.
Simon.
Your own fan base is
Simon.
Talk to me, baby. I'm here. I'm listening. I'm with you.
That would get so goddamn mad.
Welcome back to Smacking Off the Podcast. I'm your host, Shannon Madden. I'm joined with Doug Phillips, my co-host and producer. What's up?
Bad shit.
Wild ride there for a minute. We went to do the show, and Facebook said, nope, you're not going to do the show right now.
It seemed that way.
It did, and we persevered. We
are coming from group tonight instead of the Smacking Off page, so that's going to hurt our views a little bit.
It will, but I mean, at the same time, it's very important that we soldier on and give the people what they want, correct?
I agree.
Yeah. And that's what we're going to do tonight. We have a blockbuster episode for you. Of course, we're going to be talking Sweet 16 with Bob Arthur in his Balls segment. And also, we've got a new addition to the Smacking Off podcast. I don't know.
Don't ask me how to pronounce his last name.
Lee Albert Wickboldt, I believe is it?
Wickboldt, yes.
Yeah. Good, fine German name.
You ready for me to call Bob?
Yeah. Let's go ahead and do it.
We
got to make this bread.
We're behind now.
Yeah, we got to make this bread.
We're gonna have to talk really fast with Bob.
Lee's gonna be an interesting segment, though. I encourage all of y'all to stick around and tune in to the second half of the show, Smacking Off the Podcast. Kind of seems like we've been smacking off tonight.
What's up,
Bob? We're gonna do this shit.
Ladies and gentlemen,
hey, technology is not going to stop us.
Robert Arthur is also he is a candidate in the upcoming presidential election, except him and Dane have decided to go ahead and go the high road with this one, and they're co-kings.
And they're asking to be reelected.
Co-kings.
So they're saying they were already kings.
Co-kings.
Yeah. Co-kings.
That's right.
Yeah. Excellent. You want to kick in his intro? We got to do this official. We really do. Facebook, you have to forgive us. Facebook kind of threw us a curveball on the way to the show tonight.
Yep.
Yeah, it works out like that sometimes. Fucking Mark Zuckerberg.
Balls. The weekly State of College Hoops with Robert Arthur.
All right, now you've been officially introduced. Let's talk about Sweet 16 coming up. Yeah, there's some good matchups there.
Oh, yeah, I'm excited. LSU and Michigan State looks like a great game. Gonzaga and Florida State. I can't wait to see that. We're going to see whether or not Gonzaga's for real.
Tiggy?
Yeah, Tiggy, yeah.
Go ahead and hashtag Tiggy on that one.
I wanted to get a whole shot of them here and put two balls below the guitar.
Which on Chuck Berry's photo? Yeah. Chuck Berry's a pedophile too.
Kind of.
Yeah, he was.
Did either of y'all see the video that Teddy Shacklesworth posted up about the women walking around with balls on for the day?
I watch all the Teddy Shacklesworth videos.
The women walking around with balls on for the day. Yeah. Did you see that?
I watch all his stuff too. I find him highly entertaining.
Yeah.
Teddy's the GOAT. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Of course, and again, so is Dane. So, we got a race now, finally.
I don't know this.
Shannon Russell has till midnight to post up a video. Otherwise, she's going
to be running on
the only way. Yeah, the only way she can stay in the race at this point is to take a step back and let Nick represent the crew.
Yep.
Yeah, she's got to be VP for this one. If she does not post a video, she has till midnight. She may come deliver in the clutch. We have no idea. We'll find out.
You know, Teddy threw a money bag at her. You seen it in the video?
Yes.
And it went pow when it hit her.
Yeah.
You heard it too?
So anyways, let's get back to the balls segment with Bob Arthur.
How about Auburn, guys? What do you think about Auburn?
All right, next topic.
Auburn's out, aren't they? Didn't Auburn get beat?
Yeah, Auburn got beat. Auburn's not going any further. It's been a great ride, Bruce. You have overachieved this season, but it just ain't happening.
I hate to say it, but they're not. I mean, they're not going to beat UNC. Do you think they are, Bob?
How do you feel about that, Bob? They're hot right now. They're hot.
I've been saying all along that nobody can shoot that hot that long. Sooner or later, it's got to fall off, right?
I agree.
If it falls off, then North Carolina's going to crush. But, man, I'm telling you, when you shoot that hot, if you can keep that up, it's hard to stop. I mean, if they continue shooting that hot, I think they'll beat North Carolina. I'd like to see them beat North Carolina, actually. That'd be a big win for Auburn.
Oh, that would be huge. I mean, seriously, Bruce has had a couple rocky years, but it's been pointed out elsewhere that you could kind of see a upward trajectory in that program, even as dismal as their final showings were. And man, they have delivered in the clutch. Speaking of which,
Pearl jamming.
Pearl jamming. Shut the fuck up.
That's the thing. I've seen it.
No,
I've seen it hashtag a couple times.
No, it's not. No, that's not. That can't be a thing.
What's the other big games, Bob? I know we've got like literally 8.
Well, I mean, the Michigan State. Rewinding just a little bit. The Michigan State game looks to be quite a matchup as well. LSU.
Oh yeah, I'll tell you what's interesting about that is on paper, really LSU should beat Michigan State, but they didn't really have any. They had recruiting, but they didn't have coaching to begin with. But now, you'd think they'd be in disarray after the coach ran off, argued on the sidelines during the game against Maryland and things like that. If you do that, you can't beat Tom Izzo coach teams. I hate to say it, but I don't believe LSU's going to move on past that round.
Well, and again, LSU is without a very important person on the sidelines right now. This is a strange place for a basketball program to be in. Headed into the Sweet 16, and their coach has been just recently fired. In fact, I don't know. I mean, I'm struggling to think. Can you remember a situation like this?
Actually, I didn't. Wasn't Steve Fisher with Michigan picked up the team before the NCAA tournament and won the national championship in '89?
Yeah. So I mean, there is precedent. But I mean, do you honestly think that LSU's got the stones to carry it that far? I mean,
No, I don't think LSU. I don't, because they were arguing on the sidelines. See, usually when you have adversity like losing the coach or something like that, the team should go closer together and get tighter so they can overcome, and then they're unbeatable, right?
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the coach that has their coach isn't there, and they're not doing that. They're arguing, fussing, and stuff like that, and they're getting ready to face it.
So there's a definite lack of leadership there on the sideline, which is God, so important, particularly at this phase of the tournament.
Or even on the court. I mean, they've got good guards, and he's a pretty good player, but I don't think he's going to lead the team. I think he's too young. I don't think that any one player has stepped up to lead. So I got to give it to Michigan State.
Fair enough. All right.
Now, if you talk about Gonzaga, let's get back to Tiggy.
Let's go to the Zags.
It's a shame that Tiggy didn't join us, because I'm actually going to give him some kudos. Now, there's two different ways to play basketball and win, in my opinion. And one of them is to execute everything perfectly, right? And you can do that with high talent, but not necessarily the best. And the other way is to run the other people off the court. Well, I watched Gonzaga 2 rounds in a row, and they look like a Bobby Knight team in terms of execution. They got lots of size. But here's what I really noticed about them. As long as they are able to execute every move that they make and every place they are on the offense, then it's going to be hard to beat them in this tournament. But I don't think they have the natural feel of playing basketball and getting loose and adapt. So here they're playing Florida State. Florida State's got all the size that Gonzaga has. Gonzaga has they got 3 dudes on the court over 6'10", But Florida State has that kind of size too. I like Leonard Hamilton as the coach. I'm going to pick Florida State in the upset.
Wow.
It happened last year.
Yeah. Moving right along. What else catches your eye?
I mean, you got an interesting matchup here with, obviously, with Kentucky and Houston, but I'll get to that in a minute. Purdue and Tennessee is interesting. And here's what's interesting to me. Purdue's fairly well coached, pretty steady. They got pretty good size. They've faced a pretty tough conference schedule and done pretty good. And but they haven't really been tested in the tournament yet. Tennessee, on the other hand, is a very experienced team, but they don't really have a whole lot of size, and I think they got exposed against Iowa on the size. If Purdue, Matt Painter in particular, can coach his guys to use the size against Tennessee, it may be the end of Tennessee in the tournament. But the sad truth about Purdue is they haven't been tested yet in the tournament. And if Tennessee holds it together, they ought to win. But they're built to beat a team like Tennessee that doesn't really have great size. I mean, Grant Williams is 6'7", you know. And surely the refs by now, they're grading the refs in the tournament, as y'all may know. Surely the refs that's made it grading-wise at this point know that he's a flopper. Have you all ever seen that?
A flopper as far as, and you have to forgive me because I'm not the basketball expert here. Dumb it down for our non-basketball listeners.
A flopper, well, if you get within 3 foot of Grant Williams, he's gonna flop back like he's been shot by a bolt of lightning.
I was trying to make sure that his dick wasn't flopping out of his shorts.
He's a bad actor, is what you're saying. Yeah. That's a floppy.
Yeah, he's a floppy, and he's on top. He does take some charges and stuff like that, but he gets a lot of calls from flopping and from contact that don't happen, and his gesticulations that he goes through, I guess you could say. And I think by the time you get to this stage of the tournament, the refs has been weeded out. It's not going to help Tennessee. I think that I really like to see Tennessee win it, but I don't know. I got to take Purdue in that one. I know the Tennessee fans are going to have me, but I'm going to take Purdue.
Yeah, fuck them balls, man. That's what we want. We want some spirit. We want some nasty vibes toward the balls. They've been playing some great basketball though, so we'll see how it pans out. What else we got?
They did well the last game though. They got a huge lead and they let it all fall apart, and they couldn't do nothing right in the second half.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
All right. Moving right along.
Yes. What do y'all think about Virginia and Oregon?
That's going to be a hell of a matchup. Of course, Virginia, easily one of the best teams in the nation right now.
No doubt about it. Though here's what interests me about that game is I watched Oregon. You don't get to see a whole lot of Oregon over here on the east side.
You really don't.
But I watched a little bit of Oregon, and by accident on Fox Sports Channel earlier this year, and then I saw them in the tournament, and I realized they're basically the same kind of team that Virginia is. I mean, Virginia wants to slow other teams down and run perfect execution and so on and so forth. And they do a great job of that. But Oregon's been beating people to death and grinding it out as well. I really think it's going to be a closer game than people think. It may be an upset alert. I mean, you got to pick Virginia in it, but Oregon has what it takes to win. What do you think?
And you know, Oregon does have to probably be playing with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder because the Pac has definitely gotten some pretty loud chatter on all of the sports talk in sports rooms as far as the NCAA tournament as a whole. I mean, Oregon, that's the whole Pac right there. The whole conference is riding on them winning. And that would be a huge win against the great Virginia team.
Especially in recruiting. I mean, if they don't win out, you're looking just as a recruiting. You're saying, why do they want to play anywhere other than the ACC or the SEC, you know?
Yeah, and that's why there's some good basketball going on in Oregon right now.
Yeah, they're doing a great job, and I think they're the kind of team that has the makeup and the style to beat Virginia. I mean, you got two teams hashing it out, possession after possession, a slow, grinded down game, seeing who can make mistakes. I think that Virginia's weaker opponents, they fold when they see that from Virginia. But I think when Virginia sees that from other teams, then they fold. So I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to pick Oregon. I love picking upsets.
All right, good deal. And well,
is there anything left?
I guess we need to talk about your big game of the cycle here. Your Kentucky Wildcats.
Well, I see Houston and they're around a 32 win, and boy, they're impressive. Well, they got some nice guards. They got some size. They're all time pushing the action, and they're doing the same kind of dribble drive that Duke beat Kentucky with earlier in the year, right? But UK bucked it up against a great 3-point shooting team, played great defense, shut down the all-time 3-point leader without P.J. Washington. So here's what happens: if P.J. Washington is ready to play against Houston, then it's going to be a tough game. Obviously, I can root UK. But if P.J. Washington doesn't play, it looks like Houston's going to the Elite Eight. And then you got Duke and Virginia Tech. Now, guys, Duke's plays Virginia Tech year in and year out. Played them, 3 times this year? I don't think the results of that's going to change. That's why I ain't touched on it. Duke's going to crush Virginia Tech utterly, right?
Right.
They're going to crush them utterly.
So get it. If you're betting on any of the games, that's your lock of the night. The Bob Arthur lock of the night.
Yep.
Yeah,
you can bet this game like it's already been played. Yeah.
Yeah. I believe that Duke will crush Virginia Tech utterly, and it'll be embarrassing. And then you got Texas Tech and Michigan.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
Well, now
Michigan and Michigan State are both still well in it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and they're both 3-point teams with lots of motion on offense and not a whole lot of defense, in my opinion. Not at least to the standards of Carolina and Kentucky and Tennessee, but. Well, they play some high-fly basketball. That's going to be a fun one. I want to root Texas Tech. I want to see somebody from the Big 12 do something, But so I'm gonna root
that's
Texas
a dig
Tech
at Sooner fans. Fuck y'all.
Yeah, fuck you, Timothy Ray Bailey, right?
Yeah. No. We love Timothy. We hadn't had Timothy on in a while.
He's coming on soon. As soon as basketball season's over, I'm sure that we'll find something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
So who we have in our Final Four so far?
Well, so far to me, it's looking like you're going to have most likely a classic Duke-Michigan State matchup in the Final 8. That's going to be a tough game. I still believe Duke will win it. Most likely, in my opinion, a Florida State-Texas Tech matchup in the West. Of course, Gonzaga will make liars out of me, but I don't think so. I think that Texas Tech will come out of that one. Then looking like a Kentucky-North Carolina rematch from earlier in the year. Kentucky's better than they were then. I think North Carolina's about the same because they were good to begin with. So I'm going to take the Cats in the Midwest. And then the tough one to pick, in my opinion, is the South region, right? If Tennessee gets by Purdue, they're the Final Four team. If Virginia gets by Oregon, then I think they're the Final Four team. But really, it's just that Oregon's defense impressed me so much. I'm gonna do something insane here. I'm gonna say Oregon in the South region.
All right.
And that's our upset special by Bob Arthur in his Balls segment. Bob, we really appreciate having you on as always. We wish the segment could have been a little bit longer, but we can blame Mark Zuckerberg on that fucking asshole.
Yeah, fuck Mark Zuckerberg.
We need to put him in Facebook jail.
That's right.
All right,
better throw away the key.
All right, Bob. We're going to have even more interesting stuff next Tuesday.
All righty. We'll holler, brother.
Take care, man.
Later.
Please consider donating to the Smackle the Jesus Cash for Rust charity. Let's help this Smack legend in his greatest hour of need. Thank you in advance for your most generous donation.
This ad has been brought to you by Doyle Hargraves Construction and Uncle Harvey's Tree Service.
See, I work construction. I build things. Do you understand how important that is to the world? I don't know if y'all realize the pressure a man like me's got on him.
Doyle Hargraves Construction. Area code 304-508-2248. Quality craftsmanship. Affordable price.
I told you 3 times already. The law's on my side.
You need to understand something. And yes, I'm on the toilet taking a dump. That's not what you need to understand, though. What you need to understand is that there are ghosts. There's ghosts on the internet, guys. they take over people's profiles, and they're called, I call them horoforms. Just like the word whore or form. They're horoforms, and the reason they're on the internet is because they go around and for whatever fucking weird reason, they try to get people to kill themselves. So don't fall for it. Don't kill yourself because the horoform told you to. The second thing you need to understand is that there are there's robots, but not the AIs. There's humanoid robots that are on the internet, and what they do is they go live, and the whole reason that they're there, it's part of an experiment to see if they can blend in. And then the other part is they're trying to get you to gamble your money for free jerseys and free hats and crap. That's what all this shit's for. That's what all this weird shit's going on is. It's fucking horoforms and humanoid robots. Hopefully I didn't make too many farts. End of video.
And we're back with Smacking Off, the podcast. I'm your host, Shannon Madden. Doug Phillips is across from me. And we have one Lee Albert Wickboldt with us on the line. Lee, what's up?
Well, first of all, I'll introduce myself. My name is Lee Albert Wickboldt, and I'm glad to be part of this podcast because as far as I understand, now that I've been part of this podcast, I can now run for president of the group.
That is correct.
So I'm going to do that.
Whoa! So you are officially announcing your. This is breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. I hope we have 1 million people listening right now. Lee has just thrown his hat in the ring for hashtag Family Smack President. Now,
yes.
who are you running with?
I also want to tell everybody that I like to go by the name of Nuthouse Turdamus.
Nuthouse Turdamus.
I like that.
Yes.
You got to say it fast,
I've been in many nut houses across the nation, so I deserve the title of Nuthouse Turdamus. I also can prophesize the future, and I also can see subliminal messaging.
Hi, which was your favorite? Which was your favorite nut house? What city?
I don't like any of them. They all suck. Every one of them.
No,
actually, my favorite one was the Catholic one that I went to in it was in Daytona Beach, or it was in the Daytona Beach area.
Mm-hmm.
I was forced there to go there against my will due to some lies that were made about me.
What were the lies?
Anyways,
what were the lies?
There's a lot of hot Catholic chicks in there, and Catholic girls, or not girls.
Catholic, yeah.
Catholic women, ladies, are very attractive.
Yes.
So.
Did you get to bang any of them while you were in the nut house?
No. A lot of strict rules in there.
Yeah,
and then also another thing about Catholic women is they're very standoffish and intimidating.
Wow, so. Yeah, that's kind of hot now that I think about it.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So the reason that I came on is I want to tell everybody about the humanoid cyborgs that are on the internet.
Let's do it.
They're on Facebook and they're going live. I know that they're robots, and the way that I can tell is because they don't get nervous. It's like they go live and they group a bunch of people into these sports groups, and they don't get nervous. They're very charismatic, and they say a lot of generic things. They repeat themselves a lot, repeat a lot of points a lot. They don't really innovate as far as their personalities go. It's kind of just the same thing over and over and over. And I'm sitting there trying to figure out what's in it for them. Like, what's in it for these guys to just come on here and be these repetitive people who have really good charisma? I saw one of these guys put on basically what you could say an Oscar performance. Mm-hmm. And I thought, the guy just goes live, puts on an Oscar performance, and he's not even nervous, nothing. He doesn't screw up. He's not like me. He doesn't stutter and stumble over his words and get confused.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought there's just something fishy about all this. And then they started doing this thing where they started introducing this gambling thing, these sports breaks things. And, you could smell the shit sky high. And what they were doing is they would take your money or whatever, and then they'd have these jerseys and helmets that they said were autographed by, Devontae Adams or Aaron Rodgers or whatever. And, of course, the two guys putting it on just so happened to be one of the first ones that just won a bunch of times. You think that somebody would smell the shit in that. But anyways, they draw all these people into these groups and get people to give them their money. And then all the people that win are always either fake profiles or humanoid robots.
So wait a minute.
And you can tell
Wait. Let's back up just for a second, though, because you're saying that people are bringing people into these Facebook groups for money. How the fuck can we get in on this?
Yeah, they take their money. They ask for money. You got to pay.
We're sitting on a fucking gold mine here.
Things.
We could be.
What's that?
We're sitting on a gold mine here, and I'm really kicking myself for having to like go to work today instead of like making some mad cheddar off of my Facebook group. #Family Smack.
Well, I think that Mark Zuckerberg is the one that's doing it, or whoever owns Mark Zuckerberg, the robot that is Mark Zuckerberg. Anybody
George
can look
Soros.
at Mark Zuckerberg,
Has to be
and
George
he's clearly
Soros.
a robot. That's just
Could be
obvious. So
George
let's
Soros.
just accept that and let's all move on.
All right.
I've accepted it.
Yeah, I
So
accept it.
whoever owns Mark Zuckerberg is also putting on these Facebook groups. That's
United
what I
States
believe.
government.
Because these are like sets. These people go live and they make them relatable. And they have shitty apartments. They're all very organized and they have shitty apartments. And this one guy, his house, he said he lived in a house and just something was fishy about it. Because every once in a while he'd go back in his back room and he'd go in there, and it was like a fucking office, like a break room office. And I'm like, there is not a room like that that's in anybody's house. It's a set. It's a set that's in a building. That's what I think. It's a big office building, and they got a set, in the back of it.
How many?
This is this guy's house.
How many hours a day are you on Facebook?
Well, I used to be on there a lot. In fact, I had a character on there. I had my own football group. And what happened, I think, is kind of how I started to smell the shit, is I started competing with his group, not to make money, but just because I wanted to have
which group
That's
are you?
all I wanted to do.
Which group are you talking about right now? The group that's making the money.
Well, the group that they're in, it's called NFC North Trash Talk Division, and now I'm advertising for them. Just to let everybody know I'm not part of any of their shit. So if they ever get in trouble, don't drag me into this.
Yeah, fuck that group.
So, but yeah, it's called NFC North Trash Talk Division. I started making a rival group. It started out called Legends of the Gridiron, and I was competing with them. And all of a sudden, I ran into a problem. First of all, I got in a big feud with them, the robots. Their whole robot.
This sounds
team there.
exactly like what we went through with SEC Smack. I'm just throwing that out there. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got in a big feud with them. And my group was growing faster than theirs, and all their people were coming to mine, and they got mad, and then all of a sudden, miraculously,
seriously, listen to the story. We went through the same exact thing with SEC Smack. David Marshall's a robot.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen, on #Family Smack. Lee's just dropping bombs over here left and right. David Marshall's a robot. So for those of you in SEC Smack or affiliated with SEC Smack,
if you thought
your mind is being controlled by a fucking robot, David Marshall's a robot. I bet Bobby Wesson's a robot too.
There's no doubt about Bobby Wesson. You can tell.
Dave LaRue, he's cool with me.
The problem I ran into, this is what I want to say. The problem I ran into is I was competing with their group, and all of a sudden, miraculously, I got shut down by Zuckerberg. He stopped letting me add anybody in there, into my groups, anything. He kept telling me that my profiles kept jamming me up, saying that, confirm your identity. He let me add like 5 people. Yet, they're fine over there, and they're just adding and adding and adding. I just got drowned out, and then I got to where I couldn't add anybody. And then also the people that I was doing the group with, they ended up just kicking me out. I'm pretty sure that they're ghosts. They're either ghosts or they're the devil. Because that's the thing, is we created this giant electromagnetic field that goes around the whole globe, and that's, what all this internet goes through, all this information. Like, I can stand here and send a message, and all of a sudden, 1 second, it's in China. That doesn't make any sense. It shouldn't be able to go that fast with all the information that's coming and going. So I'm just convinced that it's a time warp of some sort where time is distorted inside there. You put your information, and that's how it's able to just pop right out. Well, that's the thing, is it's some sort of portal, and there's other shit that's coming in through it too. The devil's in there. There's ghosts in there. And I call them horrorforms.
Here's my question. Here's my question. Is the most important thing to this segment is what do you plan on doing about this stuff as president of Family Smack?
Well, that's a good question. Yeah, I've never even come to even think about that. I've just been too busy running that I never even created a platform.
I mean, these are huge issues right here.
Become president.
I think that these issues need to be explored further. I really do. And you're on top of issues that I'm sorry, but quite frankly, our other presidential candidates
they're not even thinking about,
hadn't even conceived of yet. I mean, just not even in the same realm of thoughts. Lee's like four steps ahead of him right now, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, you're right.
So how are you going to take care of this?
Unless I'm quite, I got to let you guys know, I could be completely wrong about all of this. Because as Nostradamus, I've been wrong about everything a lot lately.
I don't know. It seems this seems to be pretty on point. We watch a lot of the Alex Jones around our household, and I can tell you this stuff is happening. It's going on right now.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Alex Jones.
Yeah,
I am too. Who isn't?
Alex keeps it real.
He's very passionate.
He keeps it real 100. He even went on, and it's funny, he had the big fallout with Joe Rogan recently and went on Joe Rogan's show. They actually, I don't know if you saw it wasn't really a kiss and make up kind of thing. It was, two gladiators.
I like Joe Rogan.
Oh, man, Joe Rogan's awesome. I love him.
Very good comedian.
He takes the DMT, though. He takes a lot of the DMT and the Molly and the illicit substances. He's a big illicit substance guy.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he's on the DMT. A lot of it. You think Alex?
Well, the reason that I think that the devil's on the internet, it's either the devil or they're ghosts or they're all the same thing. What difference? I'm not, God. I'm not going to sit here and try to sort out which one's a ghost.
Casper was a friendly ghost. I'm just throwing that out there. So is Patrick Swayze.
Some of them are nice. Some of them are nice enough until, actually there are nice ones. I've talked to a couple nice ones. A lot of them are bad. They want your soul. They want you to feel pain. They want to do this. One of them even prophesized shit that I was going to do in the future. He goes, Lee, in 48 hours, you're going to fucking have a drug overdose. 48 hours later, I haven't done drugs in a long time. 48 hours later, I was high on coke, fucking having a drug overdose. So
you had an overdose on coke? Man, that's a lot of coke.
I think it was some sort of fake coke. I got some sort of fake coke.
Synthetic coke.
Or you got a whole lot of actually real coke. I don't know if you've ever done the yellow stuff that comes off the boat from Haiti.
It was too pure.
I mean, nothing.
I
don't know.
But either way, that guy predicted my future. That or maybe he just said it, and then I took it as a suggestion and listened to him, and then went ahead and did it.
Perhaps.
It's one of those two things.
That's one of those things you have to sort out in the aforementioned nut houses we were talking about earlier. Which I think really undersells the services they offer there. I mean, they help some folks. They really do.
How about this ghost thing? I want to expand on that. You were talking about Casper.
Here in Alabama, we call them haints.
Haints?
Yes.
So here it's the Holy Haint?
Yeah, perhaps.
Instead of the Holy Ghost?
Well, no, I don't think you can do that. The Holy Ghost is a completely different, that's a different enterprise.
Holy Spirit?
Yeah.
I like the Holy Haint. That's pretty.
Holy Haints. I think we could probably.
How did we not come up with that for a band?
The Holy Haints. Oh,
the Holy Haints.
That is really good. We already have the Pine Hill Haints, though. So, yeah.
Well, shit.
Well, the reason that I'm so obsessed with calling them horiforms, I want the name horiform to catch on, and it's spelled just like it sounds, WHOR, because a lot of them are whores. They've been whores to me, so I call them horiform. And what I want is to be able to go and be able to look up the word horiform, and I want it to come up in the Urban Dictionary as a ghost who has taken over a profile to fuck your life up. That's what I wanted to say.
I like that.
So that's my goal in life.
So
that way I can leave a little mark on the world there.
Do we have any horiforms in hashtag Family Smack? We need.
Because that maybe you remember when the U.S. they went through their anti-communism thing in the 40s and 50s.
Yeah, McCarthyism.
Yeah. We may have to get them out after he gets elected. We may have to figure out who they are.
Yeah, I think you do have horiforms in the Family Smack group. They're harmless ones, though. I might have actually added a couple, so I'm sorry about that.
Fair enough.
What's that?
Just to show us about them? Is that why you added them?
Kind of to illustrate your point.
I just add them because I'm friends with them. I mean, they're harmless, but you can't take their advice. You can't take their advice.
They're just typical NSA agents. Yeah, nothing to see here, officer.
Yep. And if you just talk down to them or whatever, they just kind of go away. You guys got to know how to talk to them. A lot of them approach you and say the same things. You just talk down to them and they go away.
Hey, kid,
and that's why, it's the same with ghosts. It's like a ghost physically, like, I don't know if you ever watched the movie The Ring, where she crawls out and she's scary and all that.
I've seen the Japanese version.
The trick is you got to scare them. You lay there and you act innocent or whatever until it gets close to you and you turn, you just go, boo! And then it'll terrify them. They'll run away.
Yeah.
That's how you get rid of a ghost. You scare the ghost.
Teddy Shecklesworth, are you talking about Smack Jesus when you say to ask about Jesus?
Obviously, that's the only Jesus that we.
Yeah, what's your theories on Smack Jesus?
Well, okay, so Teddy is Smack Jesus.
No, he's not. No, Smack Jesus is Russ Mostert.
So Teddy Shecklesworth is Russ Mostert?
He could be.
Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen, here on Smacking Off the Podcast. Teddy Shecklesworth is Russ Mostert, a.k.a. Smack Jesus.
No, he wanted me to ask you about Jesus.
Bombshells left.
Do you know what that means?
Jesus Christ is here.
Introducing the Jesus Christ action figure with walk-on-water action.
I'm Jesus, King of the Jews. You're not the King of the Jews. Watch out, Jesus. It's a trap. Crucify him. Ugh. Ugh. Ugh.
Jesus Christ.
Take that.
The Jesus Christ action figure playset. Collect all 3. Redeem UPCs from specially marked packages and win the Spear of Destiny.
I'm invincible.
The Holy Grail.
I'm gonna live forever.
And the Ark of the Covenant. The Jesus Christ action figure playset. Go ahead, throw the first stone.
Smacking Off invites you to join us on the podcast. If you have an opinion on an upcoming game, some commentary on your conference, or want to roll with one of your fellow smackers on air, hit us up. You can message us at the Smacking Off or X's and O's Facebook pages, email me at maddenShannon@toothfairy.com, or call us on the Smack line, 304-508-BAIT. And as always, fuck your team.
Well, I did a little bit. I uploaded a little video about some of my thoughts.
He's probably referring to that.
Well, let's
fill us in.
So this is about...
okay. This is my thoughts about Jesus, okay? They said he did a miracle. He turned water into wine. You hear about that all the time, water into wine. Well, what's wine? Wine is liquor. They'll say, no, it's blood. No, wine is not blood. Wine is liquor. That's what wine is. Mm-hmm. And so he turned water into wine. So all I can think is he made distilled vodka. He distilled vodka. He made a liquor that was stronger than any other liquor that they ever had.
The potatoes
he went around, got people drunker than they had ever been, knocked their nips off with the liquor that he made, and he just told everybody he was God and he was a hunk at the time. For the time, he was a hunk and he was charismatic, and everybody believed him because they wanted more liquor and they felt
kind of like I think Charles Manson did the same thing. I think
there's lots of folks up in the Appalachians
doing the same thing. Yeah, and so he got all these people following him. Broke the first commandment over and over and over his whole life, and then did it for 36 years and ended up on a cross.
Man, I'm sorry. Refresh my memory. I don't remember what the first commandment is. My Bible.
Well, the first commandment, God just said to Moses, maybe, I don't know if Moses is a liar. Moses could be lying. I like the commandment, though, so I'm going to believe in it because I like it, because it's a straightforward commandment. All it says is, I'm God, don't put anybody before me. Anybody, anything before me. It's straightforward. So when you immediately say Jesus, Jesus is God, then you're immediately breaking the first commandment, and you're just proving to God that humans can't even understand one single commandment and follow it. So
I've had a couple ex-wives that try to get me to follow along with the same commandment, and it didn't work.
Yeah. Well, and it gets hard. It gets hard because how can you ever even prove anything is anything?
Yeah. It's like Columbus sailed on the ocean, but what ocean was it? Because I've never seen it.
Yeah, why isn't it?
Yeah.
And I
it was a different ocean.
I ask people that from time to time. Why is anything? When they were like, why does this have to be a certain way?
Charlie Manson asked that question.
Yeah.
What can you prove?
Yeah.
What can you really prove?
Master Shake asked that same question.
He did.
In that Aqua Teen Hunger Force. He said, why is anything anything?
I'm so glad.
It's a great question.
You will be happy to know that behind Doug right now hangs a picture that Doug actually gave me, and it is the official framed movie poster from Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and I'm not going to go through the rest of the name, the 700-word name of the movie, but Aqua Teen Hunger Force movie.
It's Cullen.
We respect the Aqua Teen Hunger Force here at Smacking Off Podcast.
Absolutely.
Yes, huge fans.
We'd be running sound clips, but we'd probably get hit with copyright.
We would, yeah.
Well, what happened to me, this is why I believe in God. I can't sit here and prove them to anybody. But the reason that I believe them is because somebody asked me, and I've actually become newly believing because it was about a couple months ago. Somebody asked me on Facebook, ironically, said, "Lee, do you believe in God?" And I just said, "Well, I don't know, you know." He said, "Well, why don't you try to figure it out?" So I just humbled my heart, and I was like, "That's a good idea. You know what? Now is a good time. I'm just going to ask him if he's up there." And I said, "God," I said, "You showed yourself to Moses." I said, "Show yourself to me." That's what I said. I actually made a kind of a mistake, I think, and I demanded that God show himself to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of regretting that. I should have been more humble than that.
Did he expose himself to you?
From what I can tell, he did show himself to me because things started going a little haywire in my life. I did start to feel better, though, physically and mentally.
Okay.
And then what happened is I went and meditated, just something I don't usually do. And I just meditated one
Highly
day, and I
recommend
saw, clear as day, a green face appear in my head. I was completely sober physically.
Mm-hmm.
I was completely sober, and well, I guess mentally too.
Yeah.
And saw a green face in my mind. You know, what does that prove? Well, that proves to everybody else, Lee, you're nuts. Go back to the mental hospital. And that's exactly where I ended up. So
I don't know. I mean, I'm at the risk of really exposing too much. I've been dealing with a similar situation at home, and yeah, it did require, not with me, but you know, with my significant other, and it did require, you know, just kind of a trip to go and unwind for a little bit. You know, kind of get some happy meds and get readjusted. I mean, you know,
you do have to.
It's a much more common thing than people realize. And I mean, you know, the stress of living in 2019. It's
different than
a lot of stuff to keep up with, and a lot of things to keep your attention focused on. So
right.
yeah, I mean, trust me, I totally get it. When anybody ever says that they had to go check into a hospital for a little bit, as Carl Childers said it at the Nervous Hospital.
Yep.
Yeah, I totally get it. I really do. And the older I get, the more I understand it. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Yeah. And I am a war veteran. I was in Iraq. I was in the infantry.
Oh, well, shit. Well, that's all you had to say right there.
Yeah, and then I came back and things didn't go good. Something went wrong in my head that I can't explain to this day, and I'm told that it's PTSD. You know, it's kind of funny. It's like I felt fine when I was over there, and I came back, and I couldn't function here. Yeah. And it almost makes you think, is this a worse environment than over there? That's kind of how my brain processes that.
Well, I mean, you know, I guess it's easier to control your surroundings. And look, bear in mind, I didn't serve. I've had family members that have served, and I have tremendous respect, particularly for the troops that I actually have to go and get in these these casualty-ridden situations that we just read about in headlines just haphazardly here in America. But I mean, you know, that's a really, I mean, you have more control over your destiny when you have a tank behind you and an M16 in your hands. Here in America, man, it's the fucking wild, wild west out there. You don't know what you're going to bump into. You don't know what, if you're going to go to a fast food restaurant, somebody come in with an AK-47 and blow the place away, and you couldn't bring your gun in because it's illegal. I mean, you know, things like that. Yeah, I mean, I get that. I totally get it.
They've already taken my gun rights away because my wife left me over the whole. I don't want to go into all that stuff with my wife, but it ended up, you know, they just took my gun rights away based off nothing other than I got put in the mental hospital.
Yeah.
Based off something that really wasn't true.
Where do you live? Do you live in the Northeast?
Yeah, I was in Daytona Beach when I got put in the mental hospital 3 times in a month, based against my will, based off of very vague things. They never actually established to me any legal, constitutional, any legal reason to actually take my constitutional rights away and force me into a mental hospital. I kept asking, I'm like, you guys still haven't established any reason. They're like, well, you're acting irrational. I'm like, well, what the fuck does that mean? I'm like, hey, have you ever acted irrational in your life once? You know, everybody's acted irrational. Does that mean you take their unconstitutional right, their constitutional rights away and force them into a mental hospital against their will? No.
Yeah, I don't know. You just have to be particularly charming, because Doug watched me pretty much go absolutely insane for about the 20 years that we've known each other, 20 plus years we've known each other. And only recently have I kind of, leveled out, sort of, but
I went absolutely
so
when you're a war veteran, then I mean, you know, if you've already shown that you're somebody who's going to defend freedom and care about the safety of America, then that proves that you can't be trusted. You know what I mean? That's the new mindset. You can't be trusted. If you've defended this country and risked your own safety to defend the safety of others, that proves that you cannot be trusted.
Unfortunately,
You know,
what you're saying is absolutely true.
That's one of the most amazing things that's been spoken on this podcast. That is so fucking true. So true. And you don't have to look
about it is I have no history whatsoever, no legal documented history of being violent or threatening violence. None. It's all anything that, and any time that I have, it's all been in the confines of a medical facility or something.
Yeah.
I have never in the public done anything like threatened violence or.
But see, the thing is that
it.
you were trained to have the capability to do so.
Yes.
And that right there, that's so shitty. It really is, considering that, I mean, when, you know, this right here is where the troops actually do make their sacrifice. You know, out there in the battlefield is absolutely horrible and this, that, and the other. But when you come back home and you're faced with that stigma, that's been attached by, you know, politicians and law enforcement and on down the line. And we see this, because our homeless population is, a vast majority of them are war veterans.
Absolutely.
And that's how we really truly treat our troops. You know, it's time to put our money where our mouth is. And I'm sorry, but every single politician that has, you know, stood up and championed for the rights of the troops, I'm sorry, you're just not doing enough. No. And Lee, God, that was wonderful. It really is. Well, I mean, where do we go from here? You're running for president. If that wasn't a just one of the most awesome candidacy speeches we've had yet.
Yep.
I don't know what is.
I'm also
He's already done the video.
President of the United States. I'm currently running for Wisconsin governor. I'm also running for president of the United States. I don't think I'm really gaining much traction though, but I am running for both of those things.
Man, I wish I still did the other podcast.
Continuously at all times going forward, I will continue to be running for both of those things at all times.
But you know what would be awesome if he got elected to at least governor and he was president of Family Smack.
If he's elected governor of Wisconsin, I'm moving to Wisconsin. I know nothing about Wisconsin. I've never visited the state. I'm sure it's a great place, but I'm headed to Wisconsin. That's it. I'm sold.
Yep.
I missed my chance when Jesse Ventura was governor of Minnesota, and he did a wonderful job.
Well, I'm actually in Minnesota right now. You know, unfortunately, I'm by my mom's because my wife left me.
Yeah.
You know what happened, and so my wife left me, and then so I'm staying at my mom's, and I'm planning on moving over to Wisconsin. It's right across the border. It's right across the river. It's, 5 minutes away, 10 minutes away. And that's where I'm going to live is Prescott. And then when I'm living in Prescott, that'll make me eligible to be running for Wisconsin governor at that point.
Well, I mean, let us know if we can help. That's going to be truly remarkable. And you can go ahead and get a little bit of practice in becoming president of #FamilySmack.
We've got 2 weeks until Election Day, so we're definitely going to have you on again and maybe again and again and again.
But most importantly, though, we've got to say this: Shannon Russell, you've got till midnight. We want Shannon Russell to be still in this thing.
Yeah.
But that's the rules of it.
She's going to be running as vice pres.
She said, unfortunately, it's going to happen. Yeah.
Just let everybody in the group know. I use my real profile, Lee Albert Wickboldt. It's the only profile I'm going to be using for all of my activity.
Teddy Shacklesworth, I think that was a jab at you.
Is all going to be done with my real profile and my real profile only.
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna trail out with Dane's announcement speech, and then we're out. But man, it was real. It was great having you on, Lee.
Yeah, Lee, we want you back on. What team do you rep?
Oh, well, for football. What are you talking about? The basketball?
Well, I mean, college basketball, college football.
Yeah, college basketball and football. I root for the Wisconsin Badgers, and the NFL. I root for the Green Bay Packers.
It's about time we had a fucking Badger on.
We've been looking for a Badger for a long time.
For forever.
We have to bring a Notre Dame guy on who actually lives in Wisconsin as our Wisconsin rep.
Yeah.
At this point.
So now we've got an honest to God real Wisconsin rep. Lee, you're definitely invited back on the show anytime you want to come.
All right, sounds great. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, man.
Hello, my minions. It's DM Kelly, and I am the king of Family Smack, and I am here on the deadline, as promised, to announce my candidacy for re-election as the king of Family Smack. And my running mate is none other than King Robert Arthur. And our platform is simple. Good sports, championship caliber sports, you know, winning shit, titties, and alcohol. And if you're into such thing, copious amounts of cocaine off the asses of hookers. Alright? So, if you're a pussy and you don't snort lines of cocaine off the asses of hookers, and you don't fucking drink a lot of alcohol, and you don't like winning sports teams, don't vote for me. Vote for a fake president. But if you like that king shit, vote for DM Kelly and Robert Arthur, the kings of Family Smack. That is all. Carry on.
Find Smacking Off the podcast on YouTube, at Podcast Garden, Google Play Music, and iTunes. Make sure to check out the 9 p.m. Eastern, Tuesday and Friday Facebook Live episodes at #FamilySmack.
Please subscribe to our channel by clicking the small smacking off icon at the top of the screen now. Click the link at the bottom of the screen to watch last week's episode.